Hi everyone, thanks for checking out our video review. Today we're checking out the Gigabyte P35. There are a few different variations that they make of this. They make the CF1, CF2, CF3. Today we're going to be checking out the CF1 model. For the specs, they're all pretty much the same. You get the i7 4th generation Haswell processor, i7 4700 MQ. They all come with the NVIDIA GTX 765M, along with Optimus technology is built into all of them. The differences between the CF1, 2, and 3 is really the hard drives that you get on there. This one comes with one 750 gig, 7200 RPM. The CF2 has one M-SATA drive, 128 gig, so its SSD technology gets you a lot faster boot time, along with a 1 terabyte 5400 RPM. And that's really for storage. It's a little slower hard drive, but not a big deal if you're just really keeping files on there. The CF3 comes with two M-SATA drives, and they're both 128 gig in RAID 0, along with one 5400 RPM. It's also 1 terabyte hard drive on there for storage. You also get different amounts of RAM. The CF1 model that we're looking at here gives you 8 gigs. The CF2 comes with 12, CF3 comes with 16, and those are all 1600 megahertz speed. 16 gigs is the most that these gigabytes will handle. There's only 2 SODIMM slots on there. The rest of the specs, pretty much similar, but with any of them, we do customize a lot of them. You can get the CF1, and on our website, you can select to have M-SATA drives installed or bigger hard drives or anything like that. When Gigabyte first started shipping these models, there were some issues with how the packing was done. We did see some reports of computers coming with part of the chassis actually cracked due to the weight that was on top of the pallet with several of these computers on top of them. After those issues were reported, Gigabyte went and redid the packaging. A couple different things they did. They put the accessories box on top here, move this up to the front, and then they also added additional foam support here. So you get a really good packing on there. You can see they've done a real good job. Just to show you what's underneath of it, you got the accessories here, power cable, AC adapter, etc. right there. And then they got some foam that goes all the way around it to really protect the computer. So you can take that out. It's a single piece here that goes all the way. And then, of course, you got the computer in the sleeve. Got some really good protection on it. All right, let's take a look at the screen. Obviously, it's one of the most important things as you're always looking at it. This is a full high def 1920 by 1080. It's a matte type screen. And I just want to show you some of the viewing angles. So we're going to spin it off to the side, and what you'll notice is that it stays pretty good. You're about right even with it. Gonna spin it off the other way so you can take a look. And we'll go ahead and pull the screen down. And what you'll see is you'll get a very good viewing angle up until the screen will actually turn itself off just because it thinks you're going to close it. All right, just open it back up, turns back on, and let's go ahead and lean it back. That's about as far back as it's going to go. And again, very good viewing angles on the screen. All right, just going to go over the keyboard with you real quick. This is your standard QWERTY keyboard. It is a chiclet style. You have your keys off to the left, got your 10 key on the right, which is really nice for anybody that enters in a lot of numbers. Your WASD keys, gamer keys, forward, left, back, right, are highlighted with a white border around them. Got your touchpad here, left click, right click. They're not raised, so everything just feels smooth. Fairly large size, so easy to navigate. You can, of course, hook up a mouse if you prefer. these models and all the P35 models will have a backlit keyboard. Pretty simple to turn it on. Just hold down the function and hit the space bar. There's going to be two settings. There's low, just get you a little light, and then there's high. Obviously provides more light for you. Hit it one more time and it'll turn it off. And if you're like me, once you get a backlit keyboard, you really can't go without one. Otherwise, they just kind of look dull. We'll get to take a look at the keyboard flex. As you can see, normal typing, there is actually a little bit of flex on there. If you really try to press it, it flexes to a point. But you can feel the backing underneath of it, so it's not going to really go down in there for you. But under regular typing, you should find it pretty comfortable, especially with a chiclet style keyboard. One of my favorite types of keyboards to type on. Alright, let's take a look at the ports that we have on this Gigabyte. Starting off on the left here, we're going to start off with your security, your Kensington lock, followed by your Ethernet, and that's going to be your 10, 100, 1000, so it's a gigabit. Got two USB ports off to the side here, and those are your USB 2.0s. Got your headphone jack, microphone, memory card reader. And that's the left-hand side. Off to the right, right in the middle there, we're going to have the optical drive. I'll show you that, how it opens up, and some options that you have with it here in a little bit. Let's take a look on the right-hand side. And you're going to get the two USB ports, and these are the 3.0 super speed ones. You can tell because they're blue instead of having the black as the other ones did. Got your HDMI, and this one's output only. VGA connection if you still need that. Got your DC in, so that's where your power is going to go. And then the back, we're just really looking at vents here. So that's where your exhaust is. You got one port there, the other port off to the side. That really does it for your connectivity. Alright, just want to go over the optical drive with you. It's right here in the front, right underneath the touchpad, little button that you press here. Pops open for you. So of course it's going to be for your DVDs, CDs, and so on. This model does come with a DVD CD drive. The other ones do have Blu-ray available on them. Now, what Gigabyte has done is they've made this swappable for a second 2.5-inch hard drive bay. Included with the computer is going to be the caddy. And what you can do, you can take this out, mount your hard drive in here, put that in, gives you more storage space. If you don't use your optical drive very much, comes in handy. I know I don't really use mine. My computer actually does not even have optical bay on it, and I haven't missed it since I've had it for about a year now. So that's something unique that Gigabyte does here, and as mentioned, they do include that caddy for you. Just going to show you the indicator lights here, right underneath the touchpad, again right above the optical drive. Got some indicators here. Got your Bluetooth, wireless, one for hard drive activity. This light will indicate if you're plugged into AC power or running off the battery. It does light up when you're running off the battery. And then you got your brightness indicator here too. So it's just some quick lights, indicators that they have on there. Not a whole lot going on with the rest of the computer though. Pretty just straight, plain, nothing too flashy or too fancy on it. Alright, let's take a look at what they got going on above the keyboard. Again, not a whole lot. We just got the speakers going on here. Got your power on and off, and your right speaker. We'll take a quick look at the back of the computer. Pretty plain again, not a whole lot going on. We got the Gigabyte logo, a couple vents on the bottom. Other than that, nothing too flashy. Alright, I have the camera pointing at one of the rear vents. What I'm going to do is go ahead and run 3D Mark Vantage, and we're going to see if the fans get real loud, how loud they get, and during that I'm also going to be shooting some thermal pictures with our forward-looking infrared or FLIR gun, so you can see what type of temperatures are really produced from the vents and on the keyboard itself, the computer, all in general. Alright, going to go ahead and launch 3D Mark Vantage here, and of course we'll show you the scores after we're done too. Alright, 3D Mark Vantage just finished up. You can see the scores there. We got 17,733 for the 3D Mark score, the GPU score 14,401, CPU score 57,942, and again that is the NVIDIA GTX 765M. Those scores are right on par where they should be. I have the hardware monitor right underneath of it. You can see the GPU never got above 73 Celsius, which is very impressive, especially when you're doing a burn-in program like 3D Mark Vantage. Not sure if I've really ever seen as good of low temps there before, especially on the chassis this thin. You may have heard the fans did ramp up a little bit, so if you do plan on gaming often on here, it's not something you want to do in a library or something like that. Keep in mind, we have no background noise in this room either, so the fans may sound quieter depending on your environment. But pretty good results. Really impressed with the GPU temperatures. Unfortunately, hardware monitor was not picking up the CPU, so I don't know what happened with the temps there, but if I had to guess, they'd probably be just as impressive as the graphics card temp. Alright, going to show you the boot up times on this model. Keep in mind this does have a regular hard drive in there. It's at 7200 RPM. I'll hit the power button and we'll let it do its thing. Many of you may already be using SSD drives or mSATA drives. They're going to make the boot up times a lot faster. If you're used to a 7200 RPM, it's going to be about the same that you've always seen. Me being used to an SSD, normally be in the desktop by now. So there we go. We got to the Metro interface there, the Tiles interface. For those that don't like that and might not know, if you hold down Windows key and press D, it'll take you to your regular desktop. So that's the boot up times for you. Let's check out the BIOS. Okay, I've restarted the computer. Once it was off, started hitting F2, and that'll bring you to the BIOS. Like many notebook BIOSes, they're not going to give you a lot of options on there. We're on the main page here. It's just going to give you really system information. You can't change anything on there except for the system dates, system time. We got the advanced, so you got the 3D graphic acceleration. You can configure the onboard devices. On this page, you got the wireless LAN, Bluetooth, webcam, and RTC support. We'll go back a page. Gigabyte USB charging function. And what this lets you do is keeps charging while you're in sleep mode, and the hibernate mode USB charging function. And there's a USB port off to the side here, and when you look at it, you're going to see a little power signal on there, which means when the computer's off, you can still plug in a USB device and it's going to continue to charge that even though the computer may be turned off. SATA configuration here, ACHI, definitely want to set that up. It's set that way right now with the hard drive, and most computers come with it that way by default. You got the IDE and the RAID configuration as well. So if you're going to add two mSATA drives, you're going to want RAID on there. Or even a single mSATA drive or SSD, make sure you're at HCI. Just kind of shows you all the different SATA ports. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That gives you, your 2 mSATA slots, 2 hard drive bays. That's really it. This BIOS does have the 2 more, maybe like a eSATA port or something like that. This model doesn't have that though. So there's just 4 SATA ports in this computer. Chipset really doesn't have any options for you to change anything, just some information, what the memory is, PCI configuration. Skip one there. We got the boot. Gives you the number lock state on or off. That's these keys. You can be on or off at boot. You got your boot options that you can set. And we got the boot manager here, and it's set to be on the Western Digital hard drive that's pre-installed on there. Okay, and then your OS type, UEFI, that's Windows 8 is that type of OS. Got some security on here, so you can set a password and save and exit. So that's really it. Not a whole lot that you can change, but some useful information if you want to check it out. Back to the main page here, it just shows you your processors. The Haswell i7-4700HQ, and 4 cores, 8 threads, meaning it has hyper-threading. Alright, I'm going to show you the inside of the computer. It's fairly easy to take apart. There's several screws around the perimeter, which I've already taken off. Another one here that you can actually just take off this panel if you want to access the RAM by itself. You do need to take this off if you're going to take off the whole bottom panel. There's a cable that you need to disconnect. And then once all the screws are undone, you do have to pry it up around a couple of the edges, but it will come off. Do be aware there's another cable right here. So if you're going to take it all the way off, you do want to take that off. Going through the internals of the computer, starting off with the first 2.5-inch bay here. That's where your hard drive is. Here's your optical bay, and this is the one that can be removed and replaced with the caddy I showed earlier to mount a hard drive. Got your battery here. There's the two MSATA slots. So again, some models come with them pre-installed, some don't. If you get the one without it, you can put one in later. Then we got the fans in the back here. 1, 2 of them. Heat transfer pipes, they kind of share both of those. We got your CPU and your GPU right in here too. So as those get hot, heat transfer pipe, exhaust out the back. And then the RAM slots here. Again, there's just two. One of these are occupied right now. It's the 8 gig. Open one here and it can support another 8 gig stick. Got your wireless card in here. There are just 2 antenna installed in this one. So you do want to put in a wireless card that has 3 antenna support. You're going to have to add a third one, which is something that we offer doing here. That's pretty much the internals of it. If you're looking for a portable computer that has good gaming capabilities, Gigabyte's P35 is definitely one to check out. A little over 5 pounds, it's 5.07 pounds. Under an inch thick, it's 0.83 inches, so really good on portability. So if you need something on the go that has that performance, definitely check it out. Well, that about wraps up our look at the Gigabyte P35. Thank you for checking it out. Any questions, comments, leave them underneath. Please do subscribe to our channels if you like our reviews, as we do plan on doing quite a bit more in the future, more regularly. And if you have any questions about this computer or any other ones that we sell, check out our website. It's XOTICPC.com, www.xoticpc.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you.